Libero Copper has a portfolio of projects throughout the Americas. Obviously, lots of forward-looking statements. Please do your own due diligence. But when we look at the copper space, and in the 10 minutes I have, I'd really like to talk a little bit more about that. But obviously, there's a pent-up demand coming up for copper. And really, the estimates for the supply-demand gap, we hear numbers of 4 million, 6 million, 8 million tons of copper by 2030. That's 8 years from now. And to put that into perspective, that's the 10 largest mines in the world produce 5 million tons per year. So we're not looking for small projects, we're looking for big projects. There's a need for a scale and size in projects that can get into production. And that's what we've been focusing on. We've been focusing on projects within the Americas in solid jurisdiction that have that potential to be those billion-ton size projects, because we believe those have the highest chance of becoming future mines or significant acquisitions. But this presentation is really more of a story about unlocking value and how we approach our projects, and most of it is going to be focusing on our project MOCOA in Colombia. To start off with, it was last drilled by B2 Gold in 2012. We acquired the project in 2018. We did a resource estimate immediately on that. And I want to start off with, most of the time when people do a resource estimate, it's because they've done significant amount of drilling, they've kind of delimited the overall deposit, and they want to look at the initial resource. This was a resource that was done on only the existing drilling to date. It's a project that is open in all directions and still has lots of legs to continue to grow, and I think we'll be able to demonstrate that. It's already 636 million tons. That's 2 million tons of copper contained. It contains 500 million pounds of moly. World moly production is 600 million pounds. It's one of the largest undeveloped moly projects in the world. It is already big, and we believe it has lots of legs to continue to move forward and continue to grow. So the next question is it worth advancing this project? How can we create value through advancing this project? This is a resource estimate on the right, is done by Solaris Resources on their Warintza project about a month and a half ago. And if you look at the resources, we did a resource estimate, they did a resource estimate. We look at the exact same cutoffs, the exact same metal prices. And the first thing that we notice is that both at the 0.3 cutoff are almost identical in grade. If we look at their conceptual starter pit at a 0.6 cutoff, almost identical grade. The difference is that Solaris Resources Warintza is about 3 times bigger. So we know as we can continue to advance this project, we could have a project very similar in size and scale in the exact same Jurassic Porphyry belt. The significant difference is they are worth $1.2 billion. This is probably about the 1st of June, these numbers. We're worth 28 million. That's a 40 times difference in valuation. Just based on pounds in the ground, that's 15 times more value in Warintza. So we know with a high level of confidence, as we demonstrate to market, that this project is continuing to advance and move forward, that we can create significant value. Not 2 times, not 3 times, but multiple times of value. And going to take a little side step for 2 seconds. By background, I'm a mining engineer. I've worked 25 years in the industry, 15 of those years in South America, 6 of those years in Ecuador. If we look at the map in the location of Warintza, it's in the Jurassic Porphyry belt. Going across, obviously, geology doesn't respect borders, moves right into the Colombian side, and there's the MOCOA project. I also spent 6 years in Ecuador, where I was Senior Vice President and Country Manager for Corriente Resources, and took that project all the way through feasibility, initial engineering, sold for $690 million. As a part of the sales agreement, was on board for 1 year after and started construction of the Mirador project. It went on to become the first large-scale mining operation in the history of Ecuador. So lots of lessons learned, now being able to reapply that knowledge in Ecuador. So how do we unlock the value? And again, those lessons learned in Ecuador, a super amount of emphasis is put on creating and generating political will, starting locally. High emphasis locally, doing our homework there, building strength locally. Over 90% of our employees are local, including geologists, environmental engineers, project engineers, etc. We've created over 330 jobs working directly with our contractors, but looking at the manufacturing. putting the first steel-toe boots ever created in the region, our uniforms, going to the farms, working with local catering, growing from the very beginning before our first drill hole, working with the local community, creates reputation nationally. We're working with the biggest universities in the country because they want to be part of the project, and the regional institutions. We're part of the Pacto Global, which is the UN's pact for our ESG, and that continues and pushes and maintains political will over extended period of time. It already exists in Colombia. Very little copper production has already come out and said we want to be the third largest producer of copper. In South America, we want to maintain that political will over an extended period of time. And that also includes communication. Before our first drill hole, talking to over 5,000 different people, engaging, listening, talking about what we would like to do before doing it. Those are subtle differences that make a massive amount of difference to create an environment of collaboration. So the next step is demonstrating what is the potential of this project. It seems that in the copper space right now, you're either in or you're out. So we wanted to come out with our first drill hole that we put into the project. And the first thing that we did is it's 1,200 meters in length at a 0.58. That's higher grade than our entire resource, to demonstrate that this deposit not only can be very big in size and scale, but also has the potential to improve in terms of grade. And then put that in perspective, that was the 10th best hole in copper only in the world over the last year. 5 of those came from Filo del Sol, 3 of them for Warintza Solaris, and 1 from MCSA, which is Arrow. That's $3 billion, $1.2 billion, and $1.3 billion companies. And we like that we belong in that same pack of companies to be able to demonstrate to market this project can have significant value. And then the next is, can it continue to expand? We did geophysics at the end of 2021. In October, we've finally done that interpretation. Happy to have Matt Wonder on board as our new VPX starting in March to be able to help with that. It's an expert in intrusive deposits, and identified 9 new targets around the project. You can see the overall footprint. That small black circle at the bottom is all of the drilling to date has been in that area. This project still has extensive room to grow, and we are highly confident that it will get over that billion-ton mark fairly easily. Long term, we also picked up another 100,000 hectares in title applications. To put it in perspective, in that same amount of area in Ecuador is Fruta del Norte, Mirador, Mirador Norte, Bonanza, San Carlos, and Warintza. So not only do we have a short-term ability to create growth, we believe we can reproduce that over an entire region. So in summary, we've reduced the geological risk. We're talking about an expansion, not a discovery, a solid base of a project that should already be worth probably 15 times more than what it is worth today, with a strong path of continuing to grow and create significant value for our shareholders, and long-term, the ability to reproduce that knowledge in an overall district. And I also sped through that because I thought it would be, it's also important, another near-term catalyst that we actually have mobilized to our project Big Red in British Columbia, Canada, that's located in the Golden Triangle. Last year we did a lot of drilling and demonstrated a very big footprint in terms of mineralization, but we're saying, where is all this mineralization coming from? Not the happiest with the grade, but it's coming from somewhere, seeing this very large footprint, mineralization over a very large area, and we're looking at the vectors. It says it's looking like it's moving towards the east. So at the end of the season last year, we flew geophysics on the project and done that interpretation recently. So it's very hard to see, but if you see that Terry deposit, that's where all the drilling was done last year. Lo and behold, directly to the east of the project is a very large 3-kilometer by 2-kilometer potassic anomaly that we'll be testing this year. We're now mobilizing to site, camp is built, and we'll be drilling on those anomalies soon. Finally is the team. We are composed of people that not have only been involved in discoveries and project advancement, but taking some of the largest projects in the world and the most important projects in the Americas all the way through the start of construction or construction. So in summary, I think we're in the right commodity. We're in the right jurisdictions. We have absolutely amazing geology on our projects. We have an experienced team that has built some of the most important projects in the Americas: Mirador, Cobre Panama, Antamina, Mount Milligan, and Santa Rosa. We're well financed, have a strategic partner with Anglo-Asian, and we have the right strategy to advance and unlock the value of these projects. Near-term catalysts in MOCOA, near-term catalysts in Big Red, and also Esperanza. We're getting very close to finalizing our permitting on that project, which will also be entering the slew catalysts that will be coming with the project. Thank you.